Before we get to your mock draft, the latest draft here, and I want to ask you about what Ryan Leaf said yesterday on the show, where he said, hey, if I'm the Bears, I draft Caleb Williams, I'm going to sit him the first year because 75% of what he was able to do at USC, you can't do that in the NFL. The other 25% translates to Patrick Mahomes. Now, I'm paraphrasing there. Your thoughts about that philosophy?
Well, listen, every player's different, right? But I'm still more in a believer in get out on the football field. Those reps are more valuable than anything, right? As far as learning how to play the position, what's expected, the little nuances and details. So I'm more of that school of thought. I know Mahomes sat for a year, but I'd be one to sit here and go, well, I mean, if he didn't sit, they probably still would have gone in the playoffs. He's that special, and who knows if he would have been better the next year, right? So I believe in learning through the trial and error, and where I'll disagree with that comment right there as far as Ryan Leaf, who I got great respect for, and I know he knows, quarterbacking and all that. Man, Caleb Williams is a quarterback. I mean, that's the big thing. He's clearly number one, right? I mean, he's in a class of his own. I feel as confident about this, and you run to the podium if you're Chicago. I feel as confident about this as I did about, Mahomes, C.J. Stroud, Lamar, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, whatever. I mean, this is, to me, slam dunk. And I say that not because I see Mahomes' magic and he's amazing at making plays outside the pocket and he's one of the most gifted on-the-run throwers, one of the most gifted throwers ever to come out of college football. He's in this draft class, he's by far the best in-the-pocket passer in the draft. He wants to stand in the pocket. He has the most patience I've ever seen for a college kid of hanging in the pocket with chaos around him and still going, wait, I'm going to throw the ball down the field. Other than Joe Burrow, Dan, I would go, he's the second best I've ever seen, and Burrow was special at this as far as evaluating him goes. He's the second best I've ever seen as far as going through reads on the offense, on the field. Now, their offense wasn't good. It's not that good schematically. It's predictable. Everybody knows it. There's not much there. I'm not a fan of the air raid. They didn't run the ball. Their O-line wasn't very good. Their defense was historically bad. So that led to him to having to maybe force the issue a little bit there. But, man, the quarterbacky things, right? You want to talk about that, going through reads, appropriate throws, different types of throws. It's off the charts. Chicago should be running right now to the podium with the name in there. I mean, that's it. He is the man. He is the number one pick. He's as good as he's up there, was as good as I've ever seen coming out of college.